Welcome back to another edition of Gary's Record Collection. You know what? It's about high time, pun intended, that we got to this album. This is a classic. It's a live album that pretty much defined a band, and it was like the stepping stone to superstardom. And I'm talking about the Grateful Dead's Europe 72 triple album. This is released in the fall of 72. Here it is. There's a front cover and then the ice cream dude on the back, because why not, right? This is great. So this is a triple album. I mean, 3 albums being put out in one package at the time. I mean, probably the only place you got like multiple albums like that were big box sets that were put out right by Reader's Digest at the time. Ask your grandparents, they probably know. They probably have a bunch in their collection. This is a simple package. I mean, most of it, the interior is white, save for the song lists that are there. Not a lot of printing on the cover. However, by the way, this is an original release, and you can tell not only does it have the Time Warner Reprise Lost Leader catalog. You can buy all of these sampler albums here. They were at the time $2 a piece, and there was 6 of them. You could have really stocked up on greatest hits albums, but it's an original because there's the green Warner Brothers label that was what they were using when the album came out. Not only that, inside this package is a little booklet with pictures from the Europe 72 tour. So this is nice. It's like I got this used in the record store, and I was very happy because it's like there's a lot of times that you'll see stuff that is included. By the way, if you want to order a T-shirt, there it is. You can do it. The rates may have gone up, but it's great because you can get, like I was saying, it's like getting these things used. If there's something added in the package, like a poster or a booklet, a lot of times they're gone because people took them out and put them on their wall or put them on on their shelves or whatever, and they didn't keep them in the album. So getting this whole set was pretty cool. I think I only paid there it is right out of the thing, $40. So that's not bad in this day and age for a triple album from 72 in really good condition too. So really happy to get it. And a lot of the music on this wasn't even released. So the way it works with most bands is like they put out a couple of albums, they go on tour, they play the hits from those albums, and they record a live album. And it's like, here's like, pick a band. I mean, Rush was famous for doing this. They put out 3 albums, and they just put out a concert album of all their best stuff. Here comes the Grateful Dead, and while they had Live Dead out already in '69, and then I think there may have been one other one, like the Bear's Choice. Well, that was I think that was right afterwards, but there was it was the Skull and Roses album had some live stuff on it. This has a lot of songs on here that never had a studio version, right? So they never recorded these in the studio for a studio album. So this is the first time you were hearing these songs was in a live setting on Europe 72. And some of these songs they had been playing for a year or so before. Jack Straw is one of those where they debuted it in 71. But unless you went to the concerts, this was all brand new music to you. So we're going to get into some of this here. I've picked out some of the stuff that I like, and then I'm going to deviate a little bit because I'm going to give you alternate versions from different time periods like that I like. For example, I like this version of Jack Straw on this album, but I also have another one that I like a little bit more. I'll point that out as we go. Anyway, and the other great thing on this is like some of these songs were from Bob Weir's solo album too. So One More Saturday Night, really was a Bob Weir song, but it's really the Grateful Dead because all the band members played on, backed them up on that. So, One More Saturday Night.
Went down to the mountain, I was drinking some wine. Looked up in the heaven, Lord, I saw a mighty sign written fire across the heaven. Plain as black and white, get prepared. There's gonna be a party tonight. Hey, Saturday night. Yeah. One more Saturday night. Hey, Saturday night. Everybody's dancing down the local armory with a basement full of dynamite and live artillery. Temperature rising, everybody getting high. Come the rockets struck at midnight. Place is gonna fly high. Hey, Saturday night. Yeah. One more Saturday night.
I'm going to skip ahead here just a bit.
Turn on channel 6, the president comes on the news and says I get no satisfaction. That's why I sing the blues. That's why I say don't get crazy, Lord, you know just what to do. Crank up that other joint.
And then later versions, Bob Weir changed that, so instead of turn on channel 6, turn on my TV. He left the channel number out for some weird reason. I don't know if he was trying to figure out if channel 6 was in the markets they were playing or not. But I just thought it was it was a weird little thing for him to fixate on to change the lyric to. So I don't know. The aforementioned Jack Straw, I love this song. Listening to this version, it's like they were like the troubadours, right? It was a very, very serene song.
We can share the women, we can share the wine. We can share what we got of yours, 'cause we done shared all of mine. Keep on rolling, just a mile to go. Keep on rolling, my old buddy, you're moving much too slow. I just jumped the watchman right outside the fence. Took his rings for bucks and change. Ain't that heaven sent? Hurts my ears to listen, Shannon burns my eyes to see. Cut down a nanny gold, but Shannon might as well be me.
And I like this because this is the first time, apparently, that they exchanged the lyrics. Jerry Garcia takes on one character, and Bob Weir is the other. Up until this point, Bob sang all the lyrics, so he was alternating between character 1 and character 2. They started splitting it up, and actually on this tour they kind of went back and forth a couple of times. But certainly after this tour, that was the role that Jerry took the lead on character 1, and Bob was on character 2. And I call it a troubadour thing because I'll skip ahead a little bit, just to listen to the solo near the end. And it's nice, but it's not, there's nothing dynamic about it. It's just a lot of chord strumming, at least in my opinion.
Jack Straw from Wichita.
And it was kind of short too, so this will be one of those things where I talk about alternate versions. Now, if you're putting this on your iPod and you say, I love Europe 72, that's great. I love it too, and I have it on my iPod. I actually have it in my compilation, like, I don't know, it's about 9 hours long of Grateful Dead music, and I've pulled multiple versions of songs just to throw them in there. I will say my version that I like of Jack Straw is actually from Dead Set. That is it was the reissue of the 1980 live album. 81 it came out, but it was a 1980 performance. And in those 8 years, the performance changed from what I called the troubadour kind of sound, where it was, I don't know how you describe it. I see it as like, sitting around the campfire strumming, right? That's sort of how I see this song. And then you get into 1980, and we're going to skip toward the end, toward the, with the hard rockin' section. Remember, this is not that strumming around the campfire. This is like a hard rockin', moving straight ahead kind of song. Like they're doing their power chord imitations up on stage. Some great picking in there too. And with this version, also, I love that triplet action. Here it is. Da 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 da. And you listen to that, and it's like harder edged lyrics. The bass line, Phil Lesh is cranking through that. They are playing this like a straight out rocker instead of a quasi acoustic sort of piece that we had on Europe 72. However, I mean, they're the same song. They're two different versions, and they're both great. And they both, represent that time period of the band. 72 is where they were doing more of that stuff. And by the time they got to 1980, they were busted out. It seemed like with more harder edged songs. So, and you can like them both, or you can like one or the other. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to me. I'm not judging. I'm just putting it out there so you have something to compare to. Another one to compare on Europe 72. These songs had been released before by the Dead on the live albums, and but they were never paired together. And we're talking about China Cat, Sunflower, and I Know You Rider. And combined, it's like 10 and a half minutes of great stuff. So we're going to go into China Cat. And you have Jerry in one channel and Bob Weir in the other, playing two different things. Those lyrics, there was just like, what is going on there? But you know what? That's just the fun that we're having with the song. Let's skip ahead here into the jam section. And within this jam, there's a little bit of structure, and we're going to come back to that in just a little bit. And this is where that transition, where they're starting to bring it down a little bit, because they're going to go right into that next song. Bringing it back down.
I know you're right, gonna miss me when I'm gone. I know you're right, gonna miss me when I'm gone. Gonna miss your baby from rolling in your
And it keeps going on and on, and just those two songs paired together, it just seems like a natural. And until you heard that, you probably never would have thought to put those two together, but they did, and it works. They did that a lot. I mean, Scarlet Begonias and Fire on the Mountain is the other big example of that. Those songs were separated by 3 or 4 years between being out on albums or performed. So here, Scarlet Begonias is a standalone song. And then in 77, all of a sudden they pair Fire on the Mountain on the back end of it, and it works together seamlessly. They did that. It was a great thing. I mentioned China Cat and the little organization in the middle of the jam. And what they did was they started, in a lot of these songs too, they had these little mini jams or mini structures within the jam. And probably it was all just because they looked at each other and maybe, raise an eyebrow and to cue everybody to go into that thing. And we're going to go listen to this is China Cat Sunflower from Miami, Florida, 74, June 22nd at the High Life Fronton. We're going to skip ahead to in that part of the jam. Building toward this. He's looking at the bands, and then here we go. The little feeling groovy action here. One more time here. This is another thing that they did too. I mean, you have this, you have in Dancing in the Streets in 77, and they went ahead for like 13 minutes on one chord, and then all of a sudden broke into this jam that was in another key, and then somehow resolved it all and came back to the song. And Eyes of the World, it had that 7/8 section too, so this is not an unknown thing for them to do. And so in this Miami version, they did the Feeling Groovy thing, and then resolved it, and then went into I Know You Rider. Well, let's go back to Europe 72, and one of the songs I really love. And of course, Europe 72 was the last album that had Pigpen on it, because he died of kidney failure, like a year later in May of 73, I think it was. This tour in 72 was April through the full months of April and May in Europe. So there's video and film of him, and he just looks, thin as a rail. And compare that to the album, you'd see the pictures of the band, and there was just like this big biker guy. It's like big and burly biker guy. Oh, that was Pigpen. And then you get to 72 when he's sick and he knows it, and the band really knows it, but they don't make a big deal out of it. But he's just rail thin and pale, and he was just not in a good place. However, he did so. If you know that back in the late 60s, Pigpen was really sort of like the front man of the band. He sang all the long songs like Turn On Your Love Light. He would do the Dancing in the Street. He would do, Good Lovin' was another one where it went on for like 45 minutes. And so by the time Europe 72 came around, he wasn't doing that. But he did have a couple of songs to stand out on, and one of them, which was another one that was not on an album, was Mr. Charlie.
I take a little powder, take a little salt, put it in my shotgun, and I go walking out, juba, 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 bully, 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 looking high, looking low, gonna scare you up and shoot you. Mr. Charlie told me so.
And the 3.5 minute song is like, that's sort of like his, his Bon Voyage. That was, I just like Mr. Charlie. I went and listened to a bunch of the versions from the Europe 72 tour. Because, by the way, the Dead, maybe 10 or 12 years ago, put out the entire tour on 72 CDs. In like a steam trunk that you would have on a steamer or something. Like 72 CDs, the entire tour was released, so you could listen to every single version. And I listened to a bunch of them, and the one that they picked for Europe 72, that's the one. I think they made the right choice with that one, for sure. Another right choice comes from the last night at the London Lyceum, and it's Morning Dew. By the way, a nice, a pretty sounding song, very gentle, and it's a song about nuclear war.
Walk me out in the morning, do my honey. Walk me out
and another song where it's like two people having a conversation, but in this case, Jerry Garcia sings both parts. Now, this also had been released earlier on. It came out on a live album, I believe, in the 60s. It may have not actually been on the official Dead albums. There were a couple of other albums that had Dead music on it, but it was not released by the band. And those versions were actually kind of fast. They were a lot faster. So this is much more laid back. And I will point out, and I won't click it today, but consider the Cornell 77 version of Morning Dew. It may actually be a bit better than Europe 72. Europe 72 is where it was given prominence and everybody knew about it. But that Cornell version is pretty ripping too. So there you go, Europe 72. And by the way, if you want a much more in-depth take about Europe 72, the Grateful Dead, they've at dead.net, they produced a podcast, and it's still going on. The good old Grateful Dead cast, they call it. And one of the seasons they spent on doing Europe 72 for the 50th anniversary. It was back in 2022, and they did an episode for every stop on the tour, and it was just amazing to hear everything that was going on about. It wasn't just about the music. I mean, just the logistics of getting from one town to the other and crossing from one country to another. It was, it was quite a feat. Certainly it was ripe for disaster, but I mean, it went well for the most part, and they got a great album out of it. So, yeah, Europe 72, one of the defining albums of the Grateful Dead discography. Highly recommended, pun intended, I guess. How can you not say that with the Grateful Dead? But there you go. So I hope you enjoy Europe 72 by the Grateful Dead. We will see you next time on Gary's Record Collection.